Computer. Okay, so let's do the quick introduction. Hello and welcome. We are here because this session is on excuse me, karmic alignment, and you'd have to excuse me. Yeah. And during this session, most of us tend to treat astrology as the as that sort of Q&A where we can ask things like shadi kab hogi, naukri kab lagegi, ladki kab milegi, and things like that. But where Sarvesh comes from a somewhat different place, because ultimately all these things, naukri and ladki and shadi and all those things, they're really about we're trying to figure out what our life's path is, but we're trying to do it, way off into the distance. Whereas what we are really saying is what is the path we ought to be walking on, and all those the karmic perspective and so on and so forth. So what Sarvesh does is that he's an architect, by the way, and he's an architect, and in fact he likes to dress it up a bit, which is why I first noticed his profile picture, very spiffy with the pink tie and the square and all of those things. And anyway, so he's an architect, and he went through a fair bit of life. And along the way, he decided to. All of us have chosen some modality or the other, some field or the other. So he decided to choose astrology, and he decided to choose it from a point of view of figuring out what exactly our karmic path is supposed to be, and where we are supposed to be, where we are headed, and where we are now, and where we've come from, and all of those twists and turns of the karmic path. And that's what he seems to help with. Now, this is a preview session, and you are the audience, you are the judges, so it'll be very interesting. Please keep your questions ready, and but not about the ladki ghar makan gadi. It is about the karmic alignment bit of things. So we can talk about what is a karmic path I need to follow to get to that Mercedes. So that perhaps Sarvesh will answer, but not the
Yes,
direct Mercedes, please.
yes.
So over to
So
you,
in
Sarvesh.
yes. So should I go ahead? Should I begin?
Yes, sir. It's all
Okay.
yours. I know it's a long one, so
Okay.
I don't want to spend any more
Yes.
time talking
So
to you.
no. So basically, welcome everyone. The basic idea of what I'm going to talk about today is how we can align and what is the philosophy of karmic alignment in astrology. So before I begin, I would like to thank the divine for bringing me onto this path so that I can guide lot of souls. At some part of my life, I was always in search of a mentor and I could not find one. So my biggest mission in life today is to align the karmic obligation of every soul who connect to me, and how we can just by one mere session make you follow into what is expected from the soul. What is the philosophy behind it? I will come to it. So first I would like to thank my mentors from whom I learned and developed some kind of a acumen for this skills. And of course to Sid, I thank him because it was just now most of the community healers know that how I came into this platform. I never intended to be here. Just by a mere picture, that is how astrology works very beautifully to really know what it is in terms of the strength. And what I want to tell you, a primary point right now, which is the most important, is that time in astrology is very important. And at this moment, I feel very blessed to tell all of you that we are now having this session in the hora of two major planets. One is the sun, second is the Venus. So what it is telling us, all of us right now, is that me as a medium who is not, I don't consider myself so important, but I am right now just being a part of a medium where the guidance is coming to all these people who are on this platform right now and who may be watching this in the video in the future. And it will touch your life and resonate. This is what I'm very sure, because along with the sun, soon within 15 minutes, we will come to the hora of Venus. Now, the most of the people don't understand and they think Venus relates to only luxury, beauty, and all aspects of the good part, the flamboyancy of life. But actually the biggest secret of Venus as a planet is a healer. So if you find any healer, you will always find the Venus to be very prominent in his chart, and this is what the hora right now is. So I wish everyone benefit from this session. Now before I move forward, First, I will request everyone to leave aside all the preconceived notions about whatever they think about astrology and focus on what I am trying to resonate, and then you take it on from there. Though I'm talking about karma, as all of us know, karma is a very profound subject. It is not possible for me to touch every aspect of karma on this webinar, but I will release one secret at a time. So today we will touch about one secret and how you can, look at it on your own chart and decode it for your own self. And one part of your life will automatically come to alignment without even going into a consultation. So that is one very good thing. And uh, please bear with me, because as I said earlier, I'm not a believer into a fast food technology. I believe into taking it slow, living the moment. And it is very important that I speak onto some of the principles which I believe is the core, so that you understand me and you understand from where I'm coming from. So with due respect to every medium which is practiced into a community healer platform, I don't want to disrepute or bring any kind of my own ideology, but it is my own understanding and the medium of Vedic astrology which I have learned and practiced over the time for the greater benefit of mankind. Many of you will not know, but when Vedic astrology was basically started by wherever it came from, that's not important. But where it started, it was primarily for the kings. Why was it done for the king and not for the common man? It was always considered that a king would be very generous. He will use this kind of a knowledge and bring it for the goodwill of the masses. But over the period of all these years, we have somehow lost that kind of a connection, which I am trying to make an effort to bring that kind of respect to this divine knowledge and bring it for the greater masses. And in principle, I do this as a selfless act. All the consultations which I charge for, I don't use one single rupee for myself. It is for the greater good. I have a strong belief that this wisdom needs to be protected, and it needs to be given that kind of importance, so that I can do much more. Because I have seen different scenarios, and the respectability is very important for where I come from. And another part of it is that in terms of when I decoded Vedic astrology, and I later went into understanding a little about the Bhagavad Gita, I found that it is not merely a text. People think it's a religious text, but no, Bhagavad Gita has got strong connection to our karmic alignment. It talks about the same thing, and unfortunately, people have just kept it aside. It doesn't differentiate between any religion. It doesn't do anything in terms of a connection to that topic. So what were my basic findings on astrology was that astrology basically, it really finds you. It is not a predictive tool. Most of the people go to an astrologer and says that, okay, you tell me what will happen, what is this? Astrology is the beginning point. There is a huge taboo to this, which we need to eradicate. And everything that happens around this is that the soul remains hungry. We are always eating, we are doing this, we are doing that. But the basic intention of the soul, which has come on this earth, is basically to live out some of the karmic alignment, some of the karmic goals, which we are not actually doing because we are not aware about it. And this is what we are going to talk about today. So karmic alignment is purely aligning our daily pattern and working along with our soul, so that we burn all our debts that we are carrying over all the period of our on this life, because the soul is just moving from one body to another, and if it is not living out what it is supposed to be intending and doing, it is only just it is a wasteful exercise. So before I come to my presentation, I'll just start very quickly, is that what is the basic understanding of karmic alignment and how it can benefit you. The first is that it helps you to really understand the real you. That means, what people say, you need to love yourself, you need to do this, you need to do that, but how do you actually know what you are as a soul? The second point of karmic alignment, it helps you to develop the right kind of mindset, because if you see any kind of a forum, you will always realize that 80% of your problems are in your mind. So first thing is that you need to work on your mindset. You develop that kind of attitude to face all the challenges coming and thrown at you with guidance and determination. It's a permanent approach. I do not believe that you keep coming to a person like me and ask questions. Once you have a session and you know what is the kind of karmic goals or align you need to do in your daily life, then automatically you can really resonate and you don't need to keep going to any astrologer. You can make informed decisions. That is very important. That means whenever there is a situation in life, you can take an informed decision, make choices. It is magical. You can decide you can choose your career, you can choose your right education, which can align with the kind of the soul, because it is carrying some kind of memory from the past. That is where the connection needs to happen. You pay back all the obligations, really start life. So the advantages are beyond. And from here, I take on the presentation. And let's on factor which I have said for the career. So most of the people presentation now. I hope all of us can see my screen. Hello. So on the topic of karmic alignment, I am now going to the introduction, which what is basically happening is that a soul is coming to this life to attain moksha. For him, it is not at all important to do anything other than just attaining that kind of moksha. So what is happening is he's coming with the kind of karmic debt. He's coming with a karmic debt, and what is he coming to do? He's coming to pay back. It needs to burn. So this is where the karmic alignment comes into, where you can develop your mindset and align your life purpose is the biggest secret of this karmic alignment, and work towards your strengths and weaknesses. So how does one do that? That means there are situations in your life which come by destiny, but the outcome is totally controlled by your free will. So what do you do? That means in terms of remedy, the biggest remedy is basically to face all these challenges by means of understanding what is the alignment which you need to do with the soul. So you need to decode your karmic depth. You need to know what you are as a true soul. So you can do a right decision in terms of your education, in terms of your career. You can understand which are the diseases that you are going to be suffering from, how you can look at your life purpose, how you can see in terms of your relationships, what is the wealth you can accumulate, from which area of life you can accumulate, and timing of events. So you can really do wonders if you really get into this kind of a medium. So how does basically astrology work? Is very simply, it is basically a permutation and combination between houses, planets, and signs. So the houses are talking about the results, the planets are the agents which give this result, and signs are giving the identification to this. So this is the basic essence of Vedic astrology, is to understand the purpose of life and align our life according to burn our karmic patterns, tackle our destiny, and learn to use our free will wisely. So basically, this is what your a chart is. It talks about all the 12 houses for you, and it talks about various categories. If anyone wants, they can just screenshot, so it can help them in the later, or I will always share it in the in the forum later. So it talks about yourself. The first house talks about yourself. The second house talks about your finance, family. The third talks about your speech and siblings. Fourth talks about your early roots, the happiness. The fifth about your education. The sixth about your job and health. Seventh about your spouse and partnership. Eighth about your longevity and inheritance. Ninth talks about your travel and luck. 10th is talking about your karma and ambitions. Most of the people think that the 10th house is only about your career, but rest assured, in this context, it is talking about some kind of a karma that your soul needs to do, and this is which you need to attach to your career, and this is what we are going to address in this session today. The 11th house is talking about your gains and desires, and your 12th house is about all your debts and losses. This is where your houses are. The same way, the same 12 houses talks about diseases. I will just try to indicate slide here that the same 12 houses are talking about similar kind of impact in terms of diseases, and where areas of life it gives you an impact. Of course, you need to know a little more about astrology to get into this detail. The planets, we are ruled by basically 9 planets, which is the moon, the sun, the Saturn, the Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Mars. And ASC is basically the ascendant. And the most intriguing planets, which are the shadow planets, are the Rahu and Ketu, which over the time I will give more insights into the in the following up sessions. Then it is the signs. Now, science is basically nothing but giving flavor to whatever is done by the houses and the planets. So, and this signs, which are the 12 signs, are ruled by different planets. Like Aries is ruled by Mars, Taurus by Venus, Gemini by Mercury, Cancer by Moon, Leo by Sun, and so on. So this is just giving a highlight into what basically the signs are, and they are giving the identification. Now what we are going to focus on this session is basically primarily the 10th house. Now, in most of our when you go to an astrologer, you basically, they would always look at it in terms of a annotation that this house is basically the 10th house is your house of your career, and people would just tell you, okay, that this is the career that you need to do, or you would lose job, when you would get job, and XYZ. But my understanding of this house is prime importance in terms of a secret is that this indicates the area of your life which are coming with one kind of a karma where you need to be doing that in this lifetime to and that is the only way the soul can resonate and come to some kind of an alignment in terms of its reason of birth in this lifetime. So now how do you look at this 10th house? So what you need to do is you look at your chart, which is the ascendant chart or your Lagna chart, and look at what planet is in this 10th house. So in a situation where you have sun coming into your 10th house, that means in this lifetime, it is primarily important for you to be in some kind of an authority, to control your ego, to be in an administration role, to be involved with a government, or to be doing something that your father has been doing. And this is a house of fame. So sun becomes very prominent in this position, and primarily you will always find people with sun in the 10th house having some kind of a fame associated with the kind of work they do. What happens is, why am I saying this? Is very simply is because the divine and the universe has a very strange calendar. That means at the age of 42, if you are not doing something that the soul was taking this birth to be doing, it will automatically create obstacles and challenges in your life, and it will bring you to that path by mean you think that it is a challenge for you, you have lost your job, you're sitting idle at home, but what actually the soul is trying to indicate to you is that it's time for you to actually do what you are come down to this earth. So my philosophy is very simple, that you don't wait till the age of 42, you basically start quite early, so that when you are at the age of say 18 or 19 and 20, you can resonate with this kind of a karmic alignment, and the next 18 years of your life are not going towards the obstacles. Of course, there would be challenges, but you can face them with proper understanding to where you want to go. The second planet, if you look at your chart and you see the moon coming into the 10th house, that means that you're expected in this lifetime to be doing some kind of a work with relation to the mind. Moon governs the mind. Moon governs the water. So you should do something which is with respect to the mind. You could be a psychologist, you could be, whatever. The biggest secret is that the soul already knows this answer. So whenever I'm talking to somebody, I would always, ask them what is the kind of inclination to you have. So that means if they are resonating anywhere closer to this, it is a very easy choice to make. So it would be related to this profession by means of, water related, food related, dairy related, navy, to be a psychiatrist, something to do with essential oils. You can be a very good counselor. You could be a very good astrologer. And a mother becomes a very prominent role in your life. That means there is some kind of association from the karmic past where the mother will be center stage in your life. Coming to the next planet is Mars. What is Mars? Mars is basically all your energy which you bring from the one lifetime to this lifetime. So Mars represents anger. So you are going to do extremely well if you take a career in terms of your armed forces, something that relates to surgery. You could be a very good healer. It also represents lawyers. You could be a very good sportsman. You could be something related to earth. You could do good construction. It could relate to something which is, is related where you are working in an industry where very high heat is involved, like industry, things like this. Action, where a lot of action is like the armed forces. Similarly, you can do very good in action. Then coming to Jupiter, when you have a Jupiter in your 10th house, that is a very challenging position. Why? Because Jupiter is very good in terms of doing consultancy. So if you're doing a normal business, you will always find some kind of a challenge in this. So you can be an excellent guru, you can be an excellent advisor, you can be an excellent teacher, you can be an excellent wealth generator, you can be a good consultant, you can do extremely well in banking, and then you could also be astrologer. See, of course, there are a lot of other parameters that we need to see. Just by looking at one planet, one cannot decode that this is what it is. But primarily, you will see a 70% flavor coming into your life automatically. Then we move on to the next planet, which is the Mercury. So Mercury is the planet which rules your wisdom, which rules your intelligence. So you could be an extremely good person to take up a career in accounting, in marketing, in trading, in terms of networking. You can be a very good actor. To be a good actor, you need to have a very good Mercury in your chart. You can be an extremely good journalist. You can be a good communicator, and so on, all the traits related to this. Then coming to one of the most feared planet of all, which is the Saturn. But actually, none of these planets are ever, they don't have so much of time to come into everybody's life and disturb them. So basically, what is they're trying to do is just they're trying to guide you. But unfortunately, we have had a shortfall to understand our own chart and to take it forward. So when you have Saturn placed in the 10th house, it is talking about some kind of a karma that you have with respect to your working in a construction domain, in an engineering domain, in a mechanical domain, in a manufacturing industry, related to iron, steel, with respect to oils, with respect to heritage, with respect to scrap materials, with respect to antiques. And I can assure you that if you go back and if you follow in terms of your chart, and if you have crossed the age of 42, there will be some kind of flavor coming into your life with respect to this professions which I have been talking about. Then we come to Venus. So Venus in the 10th house, Venus is the planet of beauty. Venus is very important if you are a healer. It is talking about beauty, professions related to beauty, professions related to fashion, professions related to art, the crafts, jewelry industry related to vehicles, the beauty salons, the heritage industry, luxury and comforts, and so on. So Venus has a prime prominence when it comes to the 10th house. Now, there are two shadow planets which have been given very important role in the cabinet of the celestial planets. Is though Rahu and Ketu are the shadow planets, they are very important. Why are they so important? Because they are the agents who are actually bringing you from your past life to this life, and wherever you will find Rahu sitting in your chart, you will always find exactly opposite Ketu. Basically, it's the head and the tail of the dragon, to just put it in a common layman term. But they will always create, from the time you are born till you are breathing your last, it is a pendulum of your life. That means both these houses will always have some kind of a challenge going like a pendulum. That means if you focus too much onto a particular house where Rahu is sitting, then the opposite house, Ketu, will pull you towards its signification. So what happens is you actually need to balance both of these areas of your life. So when Rahu comes into the 10th house, it is asking you very simply to be taking a profession which is a total unorthodox. That means you have done some kind of a learning from, like maybe you became an architect, you became an engineer, but it will push you into success to be resonating with the masses. You could become an extremely good politician. You could be a very good speaker. You could do very well onto the mainstream of YouTube. You could do great at cinema. So anything larger than life, the MNCs, anything related to foreign connections with respect to using the Zoom technology. So it is how you use the positive traits. See, every planet has a positive side to it and a negative side to it. So what karmic alignment does is helps you to work towards your positive and balance the negative traits so that you can really resonate with the soul, and that is how you can actually feel extreme happiness. When you have Ketu coming into the 10th house, so what is it doing? Basically, this is a very constrained position for Ketu, because Ketu as a shadow planet indicates that area of your life where you have enjoyed to the extreme in your past. So the soul, when it comes to this lifetime, it says, hey, look, I don't want to waste the time in this domain of your life. So you please focus onto the opposite side of Rahu. But what happens is you while you're focusing onto the aspects of Rahu, you need to understand that Ketu needs to be balanced. This area of the life you have really mastered in your past life, and you will not be able to use those significations of the instinct that you're carrying from the past life for yourself, but it can do extremely well when you use that kind of intelligence for others. For example, when Ketu is in the 4th house, that means you can be an extremely good guide for real estate. It will not give you benefit for yourself, but if you give good guidance to your friends, they will do tremendous well by buying good real estate. So Ketu in the 10th house is a very challenging position because actually it doesn't want to do work. So you need to find a karmic alignment where you're doing some kind of work with respect to spirituality, with respect to your roots, where you're coming from, with respect to research, with respect to Ayurveda, with respect to the traditional side of life, with respect to yoga. You could be an extremely good scientist. You could be a very good astrologer. So, this is what it is all coming down in terms of the planet and the 10th house. So what happens in terms of methodology? I primarily believe that it is only for a good cause. So the function of karmic alignment when a person comes to me is very simple. That means I would do a diagnosis with the person in one session and come down to all the headings of his life and how he can approach this problem on various factors, discuss with the person on what actually as a soul, what is this kind of intention he has, and then align to that in terms of what is the expectation. The second, coming to the outcome into the second session, and then the remedy, as I said, is to face the challenges. But how to face those challenges is something that I work with the person, and he can take it on from there. And it's only one session, so that you don't need to go to any astrologer or any means of healing for that matter, and take it on from there and develop. What is expected from you is very simple, that you need to dedicate 1 year of your life to work on all these parameters. And by the 13th month, I can assure you that you are transformed totally as a person, provided you are sincere to what you are doing. So basically, in terms of how I work is very simple, that I charge primarily 10,000 for my involvement, which is all for it's not for profit, it's all for good causes. I don't use a single rupee for myself. I am thankfully blessed in terms of what I am doing. So I charge once, my first 2 sessions are for 5,000 rupees, and then rest of the amount I take it after I basically take after a year. I leave it to that individual, because if he has really worked very strongly on that, he will definitely see benefits, and it's up to him. that if he has benefited from all these sessions, he will definitely come back to me after a year and with only some good news. So this is basically talking about the karmic alignment, and my intention is that in the coming sessions, release one aspect of your life one by one. And as a mission, for me, it's very important that each one of you can at least learn astrology to that level that you can understand the 70% of your the karmic alignment. Even if you don't come to me, it's perfectly all right. You can go to an astrologer, ask him what is basically my life purpose, and then accordingly work on that area of life. Know basics about astrology so that you can make informed decisions. And this is how it is. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing kind of a divine technique. Unfortunately, we are falling in the trap of being a taboo. All the major decisions of our country, right from the time when India got its independence, the midnight hour, all decoded by the Vedic astrologers, the President of India, Rajendra Prasad, going to an eminent Vedic scholars, asking for the appropriate time. The time for the laying foundation now, after so many years, in 2021, for the Jewar airport, all decoded by Vedic scholars. Unfortunately, we take it as a taboo. We do not really look at it into the logic for whatever reason. And it's high time that we use this kind of a technique for our advantage so that we can really align to our life purpose. And this is what is the basic mission of my life. And I hope you can all, take this forward in your life, learn some kind of, the way this thing has to be, adopted to your daily routine. And slowly you will see your life will change as a miracle. It is basically simply doing that. Your soul will be extremely happy, and automatically it will align to whatever you are, expected to. And there is no, it's very simple logic that whatever you were expected to do, when you are doing, you will definitely get that kind of a result. And there is no two ways about it. So primarily, this is in terms of the highlight into what is the subject, and I'm trying to add value to the life of all others. That's my mission. And at the age of say 20, I was going around all the places trying to understand what's going wrong. I wanted to understand, there were areas of my life I have not done anything. Why am I suffering? So this is one kind of a connection that you come to understand. And if you really try to really look into the logical side of it, then the advantages are phenomenal. You can really do anything, but the primarily importance is that in from time of a mindset, you need to understand that it will not just happen by, I do not advocate wearing gemstones, doing very expensive remedies and things, because it is not what it is expected. Primarily expected is that you work along with your soul and see what it is basically coming on this lifetime to do. And let me assure you that every area of your life, may it be any diseases you suffer, the career, your relationship, everything, you need to rise above everything, because the soul, when it comes to when it's taking birth, it is not interested to have a car, it's not interested to have a house, it doesn't want to have luxuries, but what it wants to do, wants to get moksha. That means it doesn't want to come ever again. How does it not come again? Very simple. That means it has to pay all its karmic debts. So the modern interpretation where an architect puts his logic and tries to decode it is very simply is that you decode the past of the soul. I cannot tell you, okay, this will happen in your, in your past life you were a tortoise, and in the next life you will become a whale. That makes no meaning to me. I want to know the practical understanding. So that is where I entered. So you can connect every dot of your life and see why that event is happening to you. The earlier you start, you will see that the least resistance your soul will offer to you. Because, don't misinterpret it. That means if you are doing, now somebody will ask me if I am a doctor, and the soul is talking about being say into admin. So what am I supposed to do? It is very simple. It is telling you that as a doctor, you might be in a doctor's profession, but can't you be an administrator? So you need to align your thing accordingly, so that while you're making money, maybe in terms of being a doctor, your soul is extremely happy being an administrator. So this is the win-win situation that we need to achieve. My goal, and I'm trying my level best with the little time that I have, that I spread this message and at least teach this kind of an aspect to look. See, just imagine somebody 5,000 years ago made a chart with 12 houses, and that 12 houses is speaking everything about your life. It is talking about your husband's life, it is talking about your sister or your brother, and every relation. So I felt it was, instead of purely just thinking it, oh, it's just an astrological tool and thing, I wanted to decode it. And when I started understanding it, the biggest secret that I learned was that when I was looking every door for a guru, I found out that the biggest karma of my life is to spread this kind of wisdom to others. So, two principal decisions when I took, that it has to be for the goodwill of others, and I don't have any kind of a karmic baggage which I'm taking. That means when I'm never, using that money for myself, I have no kind of karmic expectations with respect to the money. For me, if you ask me very honestly, I'm working towards, it might sound very philosophical, but my expectations of life from whatever I've left, because I realized it when I was approaching 40. I don't want that mistake to happen to young teens. I'm extremely happy when I'm doing consultations now with people who are 18 and who are 20, because I personally feel it's such a benefit, because you are saving 14 years of your life if you can use it as a piece. Forget about money, forget about what you're going to earn, but look at it in a thing that you can, your soul is so peaceful because it is happy, because it is doing what it was supposed to do. And for me, I'm working towards the story where I don't want to be born again and be free from this, desire of getting birth again and again. And if you ask me, my karmic alignment, I'm working towards moksha. That means I don't want to, with, if the divine supports me with the kind of cause and I'm associated with, I do not intend to ever be born again on this life, on this. And this is what I'm earning through whatever I'm doing, and that is my biggest win. And the basic excitement and whatever I'm doing right now is primarily to connect to the masses so that they can take it forward. My first year when I got into this and I realized and I started giving consultations to people, you will not believe it, I was doing it free. But in the Kali Yuga, my mentors advised me, if you do it for free, nobody has that kind of value. I wrote 12 pages and gave to each and every person who came to me, right down to the extent to what they should take in terms of a career and what they should do in terms of a daily life. But all of them just put the papers under their file. So that made no sense. So my gurus and my advisors advised me that no, you take the money, you give it to causes that you're associated with. So I changed my philosophy a little in terms of this. But there are a lot of people who have dedicated their life to Vedic astrology. Unfortunately, we don't know about them. Because of the taboo, we don't speak about them. There are various good scholars like K.N. Rao, who dedicated his whole life being an administrative, right from the president of India to, to Amitabh Bachchan's family, went up to him when they don't. He was the person who predicted 10 years before Amitabh Bachchan's incident that you will have a kind of a thing happening in your life. They did not believe. After that incident, they are always, consulting him. But he's a guy who will never take money. He's written amazing books about astrology. If you read about K.N. Rao, you will see phenomenal work done on astrology. And but in terms of today Kali Yuga, in terms of where people are only talking about an astrologer who is focusing himself on mediums and platforms and driving Mercedeses, this kind of knowledge is lost. And I'm making a small effort. I'm not saying I have got vast knowledge, but whatever I can, I'm doing as in whatever spare time I can to do. The sense of satisfaction that I feel is phenomenal, because I know myself at 18 what I went through. So if even 50%, at that tender age, we are at that belief that we don't want to do this. But if you think in terms of logically, and if somebody is saying that, I had a consultation 2-3 days ago, and I asked the lady that does this gentleman have this habit of touching his nose all the time? Now she was shocked. Now imagine, I'm not talking about a predictive part of it, but if somebody wrote about something like this 5,000 years ago, that this person, because of this kind of placement or this kind of a chart, we have a habit of touching the nose. What does it indicate? That is basically only happening because the soul is continuing the journey from 5,000 years down the line. So this is what primarily I'm trying to advocate. And it is extremely important that each one of you, I'm not at all advocating myself, each one of you should look at your chart and take it like your birth certificate, and try to decode it at some part and see how you can do it, and all your challenges in your life will become like butter. You will never feel ever that desire to suffer, because otherwise the soul is only suffering. And there is no 90% of the people, as I said, at the age of 42 come to that level where the soul makes you awaken that what is the reason, and that is your challenges start. People start facing divorces, they do a lot of they face health problems. At 42, that's the window which it suddenly starts opening when you're approaching 42. Most of the people, 10% of the people have lived their life, they didn't know why they came on this earth, they went, they passed away, and they are coming back into the same cycle. So it is primarily important that we all do this, and I am trying a way where I can try maybe teach people how they can look at a basic chart and at least decode their life purpose. It's a very simple way, and we all can do it, because I did it. Because I'm a fool, I never believed into things like astrology. Where would an architect and a technical guy look into things like this? So just keep your mind open, make the best of use of it, and there is no end. Don't look at it like a predictive tool. People ask, when will I get a job? When will I get married? These are the only two questions which come to an astrologer. And unfortunately, when you have 99% of the people coming like that, you can easily make it becomes more like a money making tool. You take 2,000 rupees and anybody can make a prediction. It is very easy. Even if I tell you a secret today,
बाकी चीज क्या होगी अगर किसी को नहीं सूट आता
if I don't have a chart of anybody in this audience,
तो इसको इसमें
if we don't have the chart of anybody in this audience, by mere transit, that means Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, the transits in the sky.
Sir, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. So basically what I was saying, that the of Rahu, Ketu, Jupiter, Saturn, these are the four sets which stay in one house for the longest, and they will have some kind of an implication in your life. So now Jupiter has transited in the 11th sign. I can blindly tell all of you that there will be some area of your life where you will feel that I need to go back and correct. So wherever you will have 8 number, if you see the 8 number sign in your horoscope and go back and see which house it lies into, that area of the house, you will find that you will feel that did I did the right thing. I will give an example. If you are a Cancer ascendant, you will feel that in the last 5 months, did I do the right thing with my children? Did I take right care for their health? Did I do some kind of a mistake? Should I have corrected, taken them to the better doctor? That will be that kind of implication. Why am I saying so? Very simple. 8 number sign coming into the 5th house of your children. If you are a Sagittarius ascendant, the 8th house is going into the 12th. You will feel some kind of a mistake that you have felt you're doing in spirituality. You will feel, was I doing the right kind of worship? Should I worship Shiva? Should I worship Ma Durga? That kind of a feeling you will start getting. So it works very beautifully. Everything can be, this, but you need to, rise above it and not look at it in terms of predictive astrology. Because remember one thing, if any astrologer predicts your marriage or you predict something, remember that the karmas are changing all the time. Anybody can predict on the given moment now, but what are you doing after today? Nobody knows. It is the decision that what you will do for one of the situation in your life. So if you kill somebody, are you expecting that will remain the same? No, it will automatically change. So, so this is something that you need to put in your mind, rise over everything. Karmic alignment, Vedic astrology is not at all a predictive science. You use it for the good, the greater good. Look into your soul, and then there is no looking back. You can really do wonders. So, I just wanted to put this across to this audience. And, from the philosophy I follow is that, I look at the Bhagavad Gita into my daily life. I've also written a small interpretation from a layman's term on my Soul Mitra Facebook. And each one of us can just read and understand what they are talking about, basically. So it is not about a religious thing. You can correlate every aspect of the Bhagavad Gita to your daily life, on your daily routine. And it's a very simple thing. And you can really do wonders. And it has got immense power. Believe me, and in the Hora that I'm talking, I can tell you with that kind of confidence that all of y'all, I can see 60 participants now. If you really, wake up to this message, you will do extremely well in the coming few years. You write down today's date, you focus onto your karmic obligation. After 1 year, you come back to this date, and you see what you have transformed as a person. There will be never looking back. That is the kind of assurance I can tell you. So, so this is something that is my intention to spread to the masses. And let me tell you, my biggest strength is my 5th house. That means my sun placement in the 5th house. That means I cannot use the advice so good for myself. But if you take my advice, it will really do wonders for all of you all. And that is the strength I am playing with. So this is because what happens is, of course, when I am looking into the karmic alignment, obviously I know myself very well now. So I can use it to the advantage of the people. And I am a Sagittarius ascendant. So rest assured, I am a Jupiterian ascendant. So a Jupiterian ascendant always find misery in the life. Why? Because he is not a practical person. He wants to do good for the society. But is society ready? That's the question. Because everybody has their own way of looking at things. We want everything today. We want fast food. Nobody wants to read a write-up. They want to know in terms of a very, very quick Instagram message. Okay, Venus in 10th house, this. But it doesn't happen like that. If you don't work, if you work, a speaker, you go to a session and they tell you about public speaking. They teach you about life coaching. You go there, you spend 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 10 lakhs. You don't need to do that. You basically just try to understand the simple concepts about Vedic astrology, and all your answers are within yourself. Let me assure you that. And everything falls. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. Everything of your life will slowly. You commit. Why do I say 12 months? Because very obviously, if you have been doing something in and out, it will take you some time. There are 12 houses in your chart. The 12 number is very significant. There are 12 signs. 12 months it will take. Dedicate yourself to that, and you will transform yourself. You will never need any medium like me or any healer, anybody. I can challenge you on that, and you can really live the fun, a life which you will really resonate, and you will live spiritually, happily, and at the end of the day, that is what you really love to do. Because all the planets sitting in your chart are indicating something to you, what you need to do, and it's only our awakening that we need to do. And my request to each one of you that please do it. It is not important that you connect with me or you contact me and you take my professional services, but do that on your own basis, because whatever is left of your life, you have to make each and every moment important. Everything happens in that moment, and that is what you need to make the best of it. It is not about tomorrow, day after. It's about today. It's about now. Feel happy in this moment and take that kind of a takeaway from here and really work on it. And I'm always there. You can reach out to me, anything kind of confusion people have, and and I'm open for questions. I will try my best in whatever little knowledge I know, and try to answer. So please go ahead one by one, whoever wants to. Sid? I think I can see Nishika. I don't
Hello.
have the control, I think.
Sorry, I missed that. I missed what you just said.
Hello.
Sid, who has the control
You do.
for unmuting?
But go ahead, Nishika, you are unmuted.
Because I can't hear.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, Nishika, I can hear you. All of us can hear you.
All right, thank you. So first of all, Sarvesh,
But if the expert can't hear you, there's no point. Sarvesh, can you hear Nishika?
Hello?
Sarvesh, can you hear Nishika? No, I think he can't. Sarvesh, you want to log, please? Okay. Because I can't answer that question, no, Nishika.
I totally get it.
So, no, I tried. First, I tried learning Western style astrology, and somehow, acha nahi laga. Then I got into Vedic astrology. I did it for 6 months. बच्चे के बर्थ का फर्स्ट अक्षर बता दूंगा लेकिन उससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं समझ आया. So, but Sarvesh explains it in a fairly simple manner. The houses and this and that. Did anyone figure out what your ascendants are, by the way?
Trying to actually.
Did he give you any tools कि जाकर अपना मेरा apparently cancer है. So, and according to Mr. Shirvaikar, मुझे अगले I think 2027 तक सेवा करनी है बस.
So I tried downloading this app which Sarvesh had written on Facebook on Community Healers named Astro Sage.
Right, okay.
2-3 days back he had written that if you
Ji.
download this app and then you try and find your Lagna chart. Lagna chart. But Astro Sage karke simple app nahi hai. There's an Astro Sage Kundli. And then I got
Astro Sage is a fully very complex one.
Yeah, so I couldn't figure my way out around Astro Sage itself.
And that's why we've just explained the economics theory of why we have astrologers.
So I couldn't reach my Lagna chart.
कुछ समझ नहीं आता. I completely understand. वो आपको थोड़ा ढूंढना पड़ेगा. I haven't done that myself. Excuse me. But Kavita Rane says that's a beautiful app and I use it. So Kavita, maybe you could tell everyone else, all of us, how to do the chart, how to calculate our lagnas and ascendants and all of that.
Yeah, sure. I can tell you that. Thank you so much.
So, एक काम क्यों नहीं करते आप? Yes, you're very, very audible. So, why don't you perhaps post a video or something, or a live video or something in the Community Healers group, ताकि the rest of us can figure out how to do what you've already done.
I'm not part of the group as yet on WhatsApp.
How can you not do that? I mean, seriously, man, you got to join us.
Definitely, I would love to.
Come, please do. So yes, so जब भी आप आते हैं उसके बाद you could do one because यहाँ पर तो करना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा. But if you would do it over there, then it would be a resource that everyone would be able to look up later on as well.
Yeah, sure. I will love to do that.
Thanks, man. Very sweet of you.
Yeah.
No, you can actually Astro Sage Kundli. It's very easy. You just
there you
download the
are.
Astro Sage. Yeah, sorry, I was on mute, I think. So Astro Sage Kundli is a very easy tool. You can just download that app, put in your date of birth and place of birth, and when you do click, it will. So the first thing it will show you is your Lagna Kundali. So it's very simple. It's not at all rocket science.
Yeah, it's very simple when you know how to do it. Okay.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है.
आपके लिए तो simple
simple
होगा.
है. नहीं बहुत simple है.
अच्छा.
हाँ बहुत simple है. आप try
जी.
करके देखो.
Uh-huh.
It is just an app. You just download, you put your details, and it will. When you click OK, the first thing it will show you is your Lagna chart, and that's the only thing that you need. That's the only thing that you need at this stage.
Right. Abhi, let's just quickly just do with the questions. Nishika, now the expert can hear you. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sarvesh, first of all, for a nice session. And my question is, yes, I get that when you say that, we look at the chart and try to align our lives in that way. Of course, that's a doable thing. But what my question is that there are other people in our lives now who also have some karmic debts or maybe karmic interactions, I don't know how to put it, with me. So how do I deal with them? Because there could be or I would say, let me put it that way, that there are reasons in my life where I probably couldn't do what I'm supposed to do. Well, I'm trying to, but then how do you address this issue?
It is, to put it very simply, I do not believe in being very diplomatic or sugarcoat anything. It's very simple. Once you start aligning your own chart, automatically everything will sort out on itself. You don't worry about what is happening to others at this moment. Once you start aligning yourself, you will automatically see everything around you will work. It's like a like a puzzle, as I mentioned. It will all fall into place. The first thing, important part of Vedic astrology is as I said, working on your mind, because 80% are all the issues of your life are controlled by the mind, and you will always suffer because you're only thinking. Those events might never happen to you. So the first thing that you need to master, what I coach people when they consult to me, is that how to work on your mind first. And when people say astrology is useless, and what is this and what is that, let me tell you another secret part of astrology. When the sages wrote about astrology, they have defined some charts which will never believe you. So when a consultation comes to me, the first thing I do is look at a chart and see if they need to be given this kind of a divine wisdom. So there are parameters in that. No astrologer will tell you that. When somebody consults me, I will first look at a chart, look at the theory that should I do this kind of a consultation to them. Then there are different parameters. Does that mean that I never do that? No, I will tell them free, in that kind of consultation, without charging them, that this is the parameter of the life that you need to work on at this moment. And then you come back to me after 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, and then we will have your session. And people are really surprised because I tell this to them, and 100% of the time they have accepted that they are not ready, because the chart is already talking about that they will not do anything about whatever guidance I am going to give them. It doesn't happen like this. So believe in it and take it on step by step, and then you see just devote 1 year to that and everything falls in place. I hope I could, answer in whatever ability I can.
Definitely. Thanks a lot for that.
Yeah.
Over to you, Renu.
Hi, Sarvesh. Thank you so much.
Yes,
two questions actually. One was, whenever, like you said something about the Aradhya, who are you worshipping, Vishnu or Shiva?
Yes.
Has it got to do anything with the astrology, like how your chart is?
Of course, 500%.
So, but let's say if you feel an affinity towards Shiva, but you should be actually worshipping Vishnu more. I'll answer
it to you very straightforward. If your soul has
if I could hold on one moment, please. If I could ask Renu to complete her question, because आप experienced हैं, तो आप बाकी question पे आपको समझ गया होगा. हमको नहीं समझ आया, तो Renu आप क्या पूछ रही थी?
ठीक है, please.
मतलब अगर मेरी affinity is towards a particular Aradhya, so but according to my charts, I should be worshipping more or following the other more. So how can we figure that out कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं, and is it possible or it can be fixed?
So just to clarify, Sarvesh and Renu, apparently who we should be following, that deity, that is also mentioned in our charts, or
yes. Now, but what happens is 100% of the time your soul will already be showing you that kind of affinity. Now, in your case, I can tell you without even looking at your chart that it is showing a high sense of connection to Shiva. So that means if you are feeling that kind of, no, I'm talking to Renu. Okay. That means if there is some kind of already kind of a feeling that you're having, that means your chart in 99.9% of the time will resonate accordingly.
Absolutely, but I get pulled by Krishna also so many times, so I really don't know.
This answer you can only do when you actually work on your mind, because human mind is very unstable. We can think about, we are only assuming that this thing would happen, and most of the time it is never there. It's an illusion. It is all the Maya that we are living in actually. So we need to control that factor, and this is what actually the Bhagavad Gita also indicates.
Okay, another thing that a lot of times we are told about, I call it remedy, but maybe it is karma, that we are supposed to be working either for old people or for women or for children, or for pets or animals, especially a black dog. So does that really has a significance, or you were just told to do something to, just for a cause, for the sake of it?
When there is a karmic debt, there are different levels of karmic debt. That means it doesn't happen that you have only in this lifetime, you have only one karmic debt, say with your husband. It doesn't work like that. There will be some kind of debt you have with every part of the, a very beautiful thing is that when you look at your family chart, if you look at a chart, you look at a husband chart, you look at a children's chart, it works like DNA. There will be some planets in a similar kind of a position in the chart. So what does it indicate? That means you're carrying some kind of a lineage. Okay. So you have to first know to differentiate. There will be some kind of karmic debts which are very strong that you need to first address. It's like the top layer. Break that top layer and then only go into the other, address the other debts. That means if somebody tells you, okay, you just look after your pet. Now, does that mean that just by looking after your pet is going to solve all your problems? 100%, it might not do that. Because what happens is you have to first address something which is actually like a lock. You need to unlock one kind of a debt first. The synchronicity and the hierarchy and how chronological things are is important. That means when you're entering the house, you will not straight reach the bedroom, right? First, you need to open the entrance door. So you need to go one step at a time and then work accordingly.
I'm going to ask you to to try and shorten the answers because we've got three more questions and we're already out of time. Yeah. So if possible, does it answer your question, Renu? Cool. Kavita, you want to go on?
Yes, I would like to. So my question for you, Sarvesh, is that in my chart, I'm a ascendant, mean Rashi ascendant, which is
okay.
Yeah, and my 10th house has got Sagittarius 9. So does it mean that I have Jupiter in my 10th house?
No.
Or how? Okay.
No.
So how would I encode it, like, or decode
See,
it?
that's the second level. Now I didn't want to get into it because it becomes very complicated for a layman. But you have to see where the 9 number sign is ruled by Jupiter. So you have to see where Jupiter goes in your chart, which house the Jupiter is going and sitting. That will be connected to your profession.
Okay, so my Jupiter is in my 3rd house.
3rd house. So that means it is extremely good for communication, to be in online consultancy, anything that you will do, or you might already be in a medium like that, where you need to be in. That's it. So that is what I'm trying to tell you. So when you're doing
an
IT,
online coach. I'm also an online coach.
So that's the answer. That means you're karmically aligned as per your, whereas the karma of a career is concerned. That means you're already 25% resonating with your I can assure you that you will be extremely happy at whatever you're doing as far as the work is concerned.
Yes, that's true. And as you said, it's actually after I was up here nearing 40 that this enlightenment came in, that I have to do something more for the society, and that's how I slowly got into astrology. I learned Vedic astrology, then I went into tarot and all, and I started practicing. So now I'm finally doing coaching on tarot also. So I feel it's already aligned.
42 is the gateway. Believe me, it is as I said earlier, the only thing, 42, all of you all will generally wake up on your own by going through all hardships. My thing is save your 20 years. Simple.
Sure. Okay. And I actually work with your one of the teammates here, who's Sonali Bhattacharya. We both work together. So that does.
You muted, Kavita.
You muted yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So that has actually made a lot of difference. Life has really taken a big turn. Just want to tell
That's it. That's a life example.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kavita. Thank you, Kavita, for sharing this, because I think that's how people can. In today's time, you need to know the results. People need to know examples to believe. So you sharing that makes a little, I think, convincing to all others on this forum.
Yes.
Hey, Archana, would you like to go?
Hi, Sarvesh. Thank you so much for the lovely session.
Yeah,
I just want to know what if the 10th house is blank?
You have to see the sign, what is the number in that, and see where the same question which the previous participant. Sorry? You see the number in your 10th house. What is the number?
10th house.
सर्वेश उसके लिए उनको पता करना पड़ेगा ना कि वो गिनते कैसे हैं, 10वें घर तक पहुंचते कैसे हैं.
Okay.
So what I suggest is, guys, if you're looking for something specific to your chart, take a screenshot and put it on the group and ask Sarvesh there. If it is a quick answer, I'm sure he'll be happy
do that.
to answer.
I'm always willing to help. It might take a little time.
If he needs more time, and then you'll have to book a consultation, he will let you know that. So why don't you just post a screenshot on the Community Healers group and ask over there, Archana?
If you want, you can send it to me privately, and I will answer you.
No, I don't want that, because I want more. Acha, you might not want to post your private stuff. Okay, fine. Yes. I forgot about that part of it. Because I want people to have conversations on that group. No?
Yeah. No, because I don't advocate.
Abhi yaad aaya ki wo to chart tha.
The chart is like your DNA, and putting it on the forum,
yes,
I would never advise.
I completely forgot about that. You're very right. So, Archana, maybe you can just share it.
You reach out to me directly. I will help you.
And
okay, thank you.
Pooja, Sarvesh will be joining the panel in any case. So, go ahead, Pooja, please.
Yeah, actually, Sarvesh, when I was just seeing on the 10 chart, the moon, right? And the mother's role bit really, I was really surprised, because that's how I began in Community Healers with the mother meditation and everything. You were also part of it. So my question here to you is that my Jupiter is in 11th house, moon in 10th, and a Scorpio ascendant. For 4-5 years, I have been pulled towards doing counseling and everything full time. However, it doesn't work out. Man mein bahut hai, kiya hai with friends and everyone. I have, but financially, or I would say like a full term, nahi ho pata. And I'm working in a media house, which is doing really, I'm really doing well there. So because there's so much of my time and attention going in the corporate world, I'm unable to give attention to this. But I would say my heart is in the spirituality bit, but my mind is in media. So as per this, which I've shared with you, what should I do? Should I continue this way, or is my karmic cleansing better if I will get more into the spiritual and the counseling aspect of it?
Okay, Pooja, let me answer you very straightforward. See, it's very tough to just look at one planet and 2 planets and answer. I need to see there are a lot of other facets into. Just because of this session, I kept it very simple. But it's like a permutation and combination happening between 9 planets, 12 houses, 12 signs, and in terms of the timing, it's like I need to see the calendar of your birth chart and a lot of things, and only then can I actually pinpoint that question of yours. It would not be fair on me just to tell you an answer like this by looking at one position or 2 planets.
Okay, then I'll share it with you personally later.
Please, I will definitely help you on that.
Yeah, thanks, Sarvesh.
Okay, guys, this is the last.
By the way.
Cool. These are the last. Manish's question will be the last. Sorry, Preeti, but we've run out of time. Yeah, Manish, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thanks, sir. I'm Taurus ascendant, and 10th house is Venus is ruling the 10th house right now. I honestly have like zilch idea about astrology. So if there's any more questions from your end, I don't know whether I'll be able to answer that. So just wanted to basically ask you, I'm into a media, I'm into an MNC, media job, and I'm pretty happy with that. I have one major issue. So finance is not really an issue, but I end up frittering away like crazy, in the sense like no matter where I put my money, it just disappears. Like I just can't hold on to it. So I, end up, putting it somewhere where I know probably I'm going to lose it, and I still just bloody will go ahead and do that. It's really weird. Or else also, like for example, if I invested in say options, exactly what I do, whatever I do, it'll be exactly the opposite of that. Always. It's been a year, and it's amazing. The thing that I touch will just burn. And the same thing if I ask my friends, it works awesome for them. It's amazing.
See, two things I will tell you. The Venus position in the 10th house is very strong. But unfortunately for you, what happens is Taurus is an ascendant. The soul is basically coming to help people. And this is where the problem is happening. That means somehow you need to align your karma to see that this money doesn't go out. Venus, we think, is all about luxury, and it's all about getting money. It's all, but actually the core prominent, thing about Venus is that it's a healer. So that means somehow if you're not healing and helping others, it is not to any benefit for you, because Venus, all other planets can just give it to you and it can go away. But there are some planets like Jupiter, when they give you something, it is with you for life. That means like when you do knowledge, it is ruled by Jupiter. If you have some kind of a gain in knowledge, it will never go from you. So there are different kinds of concepts that you also need to parallelly understand. And when you look at your whole chart, you can definitely align to it. That means you could be into a right profession by means of a placement of one planet, but the other planets are, not aligning to the other karma, because they are taking away everything because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So this is where the balance will come. And Venus in the 10th house, please be always careful that in your public, whenever in the work domain, especially with the opposite sex, you have to be careful. That means they can bring a lot of downfall for you. So if you look into your past life, you will see some kind of a trajectory happening. That means, like woman creating some kind of hurdles for you, and maybe it in some manner causing a loss for you.
Just to remind you, we are 3 men in this room.
Right, thank you, Sarvesh.
Yeah, thank you, Manish.
Sarvesh, you want to take one more question, because I'm sure Preeti is a little.
Yes, please go ahead. I can do this for another 10 hours. You know that.
No. 5 minutes only, please. Preeti, please go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, Sarvesh.
Yes, Preeti, please.
How to calculate what is in my 10th house?
I think this we have already gone through earlier, that you need to basically go into your app like Astrosage Kundli, put in your details, and then when you click, it will show you the first thing that would come. There are a lot of facets that will happen in this app, but the first impression will be a Lagna chart, and then in the 10th house, you will, if you go, this is what I was waiting for actually. If you go to my shares on the Community Healers, I put all the houses, all the ascendants. Now please go back and put it into some folder and do the reference. You will get all your answers.
Yes, I have seen that. And what you have written in mine, Virgo, actually is according to Hindi calendar. And what you have written in mine is actually sits correct. So I also actually contacted you personally, and when you said that it is your fees is 5,000, actually I faced some financial problems also, so I stepped back.
This is a dilemma with almost everyone who's in some form of healing or the other. Because on the one hand, we've all had a lot of experiences about folks not taking things seriously unless they pay for it. And on the other hand, you do have folks who might take things seriously without paying for it. So it's a very tightrope that we have to walk at times.
Yes, I understand that.
But cool, please finish what you were saying, Preeti.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, actually, I wanted to ask that I am planning to teach drawing online, as I have learned online, so I am planning to teach online. So I wanted to know, will it work for me?
It's a very open-ended question. I can't just say like, I need to see a lot of details on your chart to be able to answer this.
Okay, Sarvesh. It's okay.
And just from my perspective, without the thing of astrology, I would say, Preeti, that it can work, but you need to figure out a few things. I don't know what those few things are right now, but going by what I perceive, hearing your voice and what I have interacted with you in the past, there are a couple of variables you need to put into place, and then it will work, but it depends on those variables that you set up. And this, I'm just talking about instinct. I'm not talking about any kind of astrology. I do not know astrology, disclaimer. This is just pure instinct, saying what I did.
Okay.
Can I ask something, Sid?
Sarvesh, please go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
what does it mean to have Rahu in your 10th house?
I think I just explained in my presentation. Can you tell me what's your ascendant first? Do you know which is the first
No.
sign?
Sorry?
Because you need to know. I need to know what's your ascendant. But basically, Rahu in the 10th house indicates something unorthodox. That means something that your family has not been doing, something that you must have studied, and you are not going to do the same thing. It is something to do with masses. It is something to do with, it has to be like um, at a high, at a level where you need to make yourself like a brand. It needs to be having, it requires that soul will want to have kind of a highlight. That means it needs to feel so important in terms of public, in terms of cinema, in terms of politician, extremely strong position to be a politician like Donald Trump. So that's what it makes you actually. But you need to do a lot of other study in terms of other things, because malefic planets like Rahu and Ketu are shadow. They don't perform on its own. They need to get clingy and associated to some kind of other signification, and then accordingly they will deliver. Because like whatever has happened in the last 18 months in our world is all the thanks to Rahu and Ketu, because nobody can predict that how they will behave.
Okay.
Can I just ask one question, please? Just a very small question. Sid, do I have the permission from you?
Please.
Yeah. Sarvesh, thank you. I have understood basically what my life purpose appears to be. I just want to know, are you ever misaligned with your karmic connections? I mean, are you not always aligned? As in, आप सोचते कुछ और हो और होता तो वही है जो होना होता है, तो जो आपकी कार्मिक अलाइनमेंट है वो ऑटोमेटिकली नहीं उसी तरफ जा रही होती?
Actually, in my experience, I found that in the most of the time it doesn't happen that way. Unfortunately, we are not that so lucky. But some people, by God's grace, are already aligned to what they are supposed to do, and that is why you will see people attaining fame at a very young age, 18, 19, they become billionaire, because there is some kind of a karmic connection they're automatically doing. For whatever, why that has happened, it is very difficult to say by looking at their chart. But automatically, it will, it happens to some people earlier, but there will be some kinds of shade happening in each and every, ascendant in the chart, and there will be a common trait. Like for example, you see Kangana Ranaut, okay? She is her ascendant, you will see over time now, she will slowly move towards spirituality, because it is her Rahu Ketu is in the first house and the 7th house axis. That means it is very difficult for her to be with the to have relationship, and you see her Mercury is in a very bad condition. That means whatever she is saying, it is going against her. And if you focus and see her life, she follows Sadhguru, she follows spirituality very high, and that is the biggest domain why she has attained this kind of success in her life, by following that, that line. So some part of her karma is aligned, but it is in disbalance, because her speech creates that kind of imbalance for her. But you follow her life now, in few years, 5 years, 10 years, you will see that maybe one day she can just give up everything and become a like a yogi, or become like reclusive and totally get into the stream of meditation.
But apart from Mercury, don't you think her speech problem could be resolved if she would choose to pull her foot out of her mouth?
Someday, if she connects with me, definitely I will guide her, and to align her, because everybody needs to do that kind of a karmic alignment, and there are a lot of things. This is only a small effect. You can also look in terms of the diseases, and there is a lot of shades to it. Anything can be, tackled if you know there's some kind of a parameter, but it is not about predictive, that's all.
But Priya, I'd asked the same question maybe 7-8 years ago to somebody, and what he told me was, and this is something that stuck with me, is that we've got free will and we've got fate. So fate is going to keep going, but free will is what's going to roger the fate thing, because we choose not to do certain things. We choose not to go along with for example, Sarvesh might say, this is what you need to be doing. And let's assume what he's saying is right, but free will say, nahi karna. So you got free will and you got fate.
Because when you're born, 60% of the, you're already carrying that kind of a destiny. That means you're always going into that kind of turmoil. But the rest is in your hand. Otherwise, we would just be robots. You would have just been sitting and then everything would be like a machine. So God, the divine has given that kind of a free will, so that he leaves it to you. It is up to you to decide how to, work around it.
Guys, we will call it a day now. Thank you so much for attending this session, and thank you so much, Sarvesh, for taking it. This has been our very first one on astrology, and I'm sure we'll be inviting you, Sarvesh, to join our
I
panel.
hope everybody could basically understand. I'm sorry if I've not been able to address each and every one's issue.
नहीं अभी feedback आएगा all events पे. जब feedback आएगा तो फिर पता चलेगा what everyone thought of you.
So with the kind of time constraint, and I really want to do more. And I hope that we have some more opportunity, and we can.
In fact, Sarvesh, I'm thinking of doing a series, about astrology to learn how to at least create the basic charts and at least read them.
Yes.
आपके साथ. So I'll call you. We'll talk about that.
Sure.
So guys, if you have any other questions, please, number one, feel free to ping Sarvesh directly. He does have fees, and he takes half of them up front, half of them when the period is done, from what I understand. And number two, please feel free to tag him on Facebook, Community Healers. I do want more conversations there. Obviously, please don't share anything confidential. Like agar kuch hai generic, please ping him. Please tag him on that group. And we'll be making this recording aware on the YouTube channel. Please do pick it up from there. And if you're not a member of Community Healers, please join.
Yeah, my request is to please help me get that kind of respectability to the Vedic astrology once again. And this is what is my life mission.
At least you've started with wearing orange, Sarvesh. That's a good step forward.
Thank you.
But thanks,
actually,
guys.
I designed my backdrop, everything using my chart actually. So that's also one facet you can do. You can learn how you can integrate it.
Right.
Because yellow, I'll give you a secret. Yellow represents the Jupiter, and black is my Saturn. Both of them are very powerful. Once I'm using them together, it's a sure shot success for the masses. Maybe not for me, but it's going to reach that kind of an audience where people will benefit, and that's my basic motto.
Gotcha. So see you guys. Thanks so much for coming. Have a lovely weekend. Have a great weekend yourself, Sarvesh.
Thank you for your time.
Is Yogita Shirvaikar in any connection with Sarvesh Shirvaikar?
She is the lady behind all what I'm doing.
Oh, okay, cool. And who's the other lady behind that lady?
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Ziva.
You're Ziva.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Ziva. How are you doing?
Good. Good.
You understand anything about astrology?
Yeah, a bit.
Really? How cool. I thought if you, with your dad talking so much about it, you
I
would
will
have said
tell
I
you.
want nothing to do with astrology.
No, because at that age, I am trying to slowly guide her in terms of what is the kind of way she can work.
Right.
Because she already has it, in terms of it, and I just need to give her that kind of a pinch, and then she is on to it. So that's how I, without forcing her, and she can really develop at a younger age. That's how I look at it in terms of spreading the wisdom.
I hear you. So thanks, Yogita. I think you were the one. You're the reason why we have Sarvesh here today, because I believe you're the food and cooking link, and then फिर वहाँ से ये आ गए, फिर उस दिन आपके सामने ही इनके साथ बात शुरू हुई, and all of that stuff. So very nice. Thank you so much for being the conduit.
Thank you. I really, when I joined Community Healers, it brought a lot of peace in me. I mean, because we have such beautiful experts there, I've learned a lot, and I'm happy that Sarvesh also got a chance there.
Right. All of us, we represent so many different sides of that coin,
Yeah.
and in many different ways. We're not all, we don't talk the same way. We don't come with the same temperament. But we all love what we do. Sarvesh, you were saying something, so I cut you off.
Last line is that beautifully, and the photo, and then this is how we started our discussion.
सर्वेश, आपकी आवाज बहुत ज्यादा कट रही। जब से आपने बोलना शुरू किया कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा। ना। Why don't you go and join your wife and daughter because their speech is coming clearly.
Good evening, Sid sir.
Hi, Rekha.
Yeah, hi. I just want to tell you one appreciation sentence. Your voice is really good, very good.
Thanks so much, ma'am. Yeah. Very sweet of you to say that.
Hello.
Hanji, Sarvesh, I can hear you now. Boliye na.
I was just saying on a last ending note is that when you actually looked at my photo, and then this is how you started connection with me. So what happened is at that particular time, I have a Rahu in my 10th house, and Rahu rules over photography. So
Right.
by pure means of just looking at a photograph, it started that kind of discussion because it wanted me to connect to that kind of masses. So this is how it works very beautifully, you know.
I said I want to talk to a guy who has the guts to wear a pink pocket square and a pink tie.
So that's how it is.
Well, that was a nice tie, right, Yogita? That was a nice tie. Right. Guys, this is supposed to be, we're supposed to be talking while you're on your way out. Now we've gathered at the door right now. We're door wali conversation ho rahi hai. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
for being there. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so
See you,
much.
Rekha.
Yeah, bye.
See you. Bye.
Good.
I wait till the end because then we can see who are the ones who went to sleep. कौन सो रहे हैं? बीच में वो जागते रहो वाला ट्रैक पे जाएंगे फिर. Let's. Jatinder is not bad. Sarvesh, you didn't put everyone to sleep, yeah?
Yeah.
We got a good. We've got only 6 people sleeping. Okay. See you guys.
Bye. Thank you, Sid.
Bye
Thank you.
bye. See
Thank
you,
sir.
Sarvesh. Thank you so much for taking out the time and very kind of you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. See you, Yogita. Bye bye, Ziva.
I hope I did justice.
Oh, of course you did, man. There was no doubt about that. The only thing was whether we can, have the right audience.
Yeah.
Because I mean, अगर subject interesting मुझे लगता है तो फिर आप जितना भी boring हो, लेकिन अगर ज्ञान है तो मैं आपको सुनते रहूंगा ना.
Correct.
लेकिन so it depends on getting that mix because you can talk at length on a subject and you're passionate about a subject, but most people are looking for shortcuts.
Everybody
So
wants to understand
that
the
sometimes is not such a good gelling. So let's see. But it looked very interesting. Looks like everyone enjoyed what you had to say. So that's good.
Thank you for your.
Always, man. Always. Thank you for adding so much value. Really.
Thank you for your
So,
platform. And believe me, in 1 year you will also start believing it. Don't worry.
No, I do not disbelieve anything. I believe in the possibility of all of this. So in fact, जो आपने मुझे करने को कहा था, मैं 3 हफ्ते से नहीं कर रहा हूँ और हर बार जो नहीं किया है, मैं फिर से कैलेंडर में एंट्री करता हूँ. 12 हफ्ते का फिर से एंट्री बनाता हूँ कि शुरू करो फिर से. मैंने 2 हफ्ते किया फिर भूल गया. So I am actually doing it. I mean, there's no point disbelieving something
And,
without
continue karo. You don't need to start from
doing it
0
sincerely.
again. You complete 12. Don't need to do 0 again.
I said I don't need to do 0 again.
You keep doing it. See,
अच्छा.
अगर आपको सिंपल बात है, अगर आपको उसको करने में किसी वजह से it is creating obstruction, that means the results of this will be much more beneficial to you when it will finish.
भूल जाता हूँ भाई.
नहीं आप करो.
कैलेंडर में होता है फिर भी भूल जाता हूँ. So anyway, I will do it. Like I said, I'm taking it seriously, man.
Yes, please
So,
do that.
and we actually did consult an astrologer a couple of years ago, only once, and I think it was the first time in our lives. But it was interesting. So we're open to everything, dude. So anyway, but by the way, Yogita, we missed you at that lunch that day with Sarvesh and I, and look forward to your coming the next time.
Yes, we'll plan again.
Cool. So see you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
See you, Sarvesh.
Bye. Thank you, Sid.
Pleasure.